Howdy, welcome back with your host Lego Brad 86. Today we are going to go with look through my Japanese and US gaming collection for the Super Nintendo. And so let's do this, boys. Now we're going to start off with the Japanese, since I got 6 Japanese games and then a newly released title that is in the form of a Japanese cartridge. So we'll go with these 7 games first, and then we'll go through the rest of my collection, which is a total of 65 games for Super Nintendo. Who knew? Okay, so first off, Chrono Trigger. I love the US game. Extremely overpriced online. I'm not paying $300, so I paid $5 to get this imported from Japan. And it plays just the same. And I have the full Super Nintendo library on my computer. And I've got a Super Nintendo Classic with 200 plus games that I've loaded onto it myself out of the 21 that already came on it. Poppin' Twinbee. Pretty good shmup. Here you're saving your girlfriend from the evil clutches of fruits and vegetables, because apparently they're bad for you in Japan. I don't know. Apparently they like to steal your wife. Anyway, Parodias. No, that's not Parodias. This is I got all 3 Parodias. This is Yoku Parodias. This is, I think, Parodias Da. And this is Parodias. I can't name the last one for the life of me on the Super Nintendo. But I got all 3 Parodias games. They're basically Gradius, but with cute anime-related characters to go shoot your bums wild. Super Fire Pro Wrestling Queen Special, basically women's WWE for Japanesey. Okay. Unholy Night, a shmup where you either play as the vampire hunters or you play as the Vampires und Werwolves. 6 playable characters. Good versus mode if you have 2 controllers and a Super Nintendo. It's $20 on Amazon. It's a good game, but it kind of reminds me of mix between Mortal Kombat meets Dead or Alive, where the boob physics is out the wazoo. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yes, the boob physics on the female characters is nuts. Bouncing high above their head for their special attacks and then blowing the bad boys away. Yes, it's funny that they were able to do that 20 years in the future on the Super Nintendo, but at the same time, it's not funny that it's in a fighting game that is relatively unknown. I must admit, it is hilarious. Anyway, so we're going to go into the US collection now. Hero the Acrobat with a very bad label. But, you get what you pay for. I didn't even pay $9.99. I paid like $5 for this. So, and it wasn't guaranteed that it would work at my local gaming store. So, I mean, I'll take it. Batman Forever, the worst Batman game on the Super Nintendo. But then again, I only paid $2 for it. So, I mean, I'll pay $2 for a bad game at my local gaming store. I'll pay $2 for a terrible, terrible game if it means that I can get it off the shelves from another collector that knows it's a bad game and doesn't want to play it. Best of the Best Championship Karate. I paid, say, $10, maybe $9 at my local gaming store. Oops. Breath of Fire 1. Only game I paid almost more than base price for. I believe it was $30 when it came out, and I paid almost the exact same amount that I would have paid 20 years later at my local gaming store, $27.95, just for the base game. Basically, what you paid in the 90s is what you pay today for that game. Surprisingly, I'm Looney. And I'm not a big Looney Tunes fan, but the Looney Tunes games are fun on the Super Nintendo. So I got Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage, Daffy Duck, the Marvin Missions. Anyway, Donkey Kong Country 1 and Donkey Kong Country 2. Doom for the Super Nintendo. Not the best way to play because you can't mod it, of course, but fun nonetheless. I mean, I'll take it. Final Fight. Thank you, RGT85, for recommending that game. I do like my beat 'em ups. And beat 'em ups. You do like your beat 'em ups too. Hole-in-One Golf by HAL Laboratories. HAL Laboratories of America. Yes. Hal Gordon did make some good games back in the day. Too bad they're out of business now because they wasted on sports. Home Alone 1 and THQ. Dodge, Harry and Marv, while you collect everything in the house and put it in the underground basement vault. Yeah. So Harry and Marv can't get anything except for jail time. The Hunt for Red October uses the Super Scope accessory for the side games. Main gameplay, you don't need the Super Scope. It's just for the side games. If you want to turn the side games on, you can actually turn it off in the options menu. It's pretty good. The Ignition Factor. Have you ever wanted to be a firefighter but didn't know if you would like the job? Ignition Factor, your game. By Jellico. I believe it was made by Jellico and licensed by Human Entertainment in Japan under a different name. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the way it was because it goes by a different name in Japan than it does in the U.S. I believe it goes as the Firefighters, or maybe they have two firefighting games I'm not aware of. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures. Play through the first 3 movies of Indiana Jones. It's an okay game. It's not the best in my opinion. Platform is kind of wonky, but for an early LucasArts title in the 90s on the Super Nintendo, it's good. It's good. Give it a shot. Killer Instinct. Play as a girl that changes into a lion. Play as a guy that is as hot as the sun. Play as a guy that's as cold as the coldest ice storm. Yes, you can play as all of these and do fatalities. And it's the only Super Nintendo game released in the U.S. that has blood in it. And it's rated teen. I mean, it makes no sense. The ESRB rating system back then was very, very wonky. I'll just let you in on that right there. Knights of the Round, a wonderful beat 'em up style in the Middle Ages. Pretty good. I can't go into much more detail about that, but you're basically King Arthur trying to unite all of the kingdoms under you. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. It was $40 at release. I paid $32.35. So it goes around relative value of what it went when it was originally released. Lester the Unlikely. a terrible learning title, as this is the seal for learning titles that's on the Super Nintendo. This DTMC, that's for anybody that's looking for learning titles on Super Nintendo. It will always have that seal for approved by the Learning Centers of America. Has approved this message. Please hang up and try again. Liberty or Death, by Koei Animation Corporation. Yes, before they were in anime, they were in video games. And what better game to start than with the American Revolution? Because apparently the Japanese got it right more so than our history books did. Yeah. Surprisingly stated. Magic Sword, a arcade port on the Super Nintendo. It's all right. It was $29.95 at my local gaming store. You can get it for $15 minimum at, say, Amazon. It's not bad. I don't trust the stock photos that they have at Amazon because sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you don't. As is the case with this one. I paid $6 for Mario Paint on Amazon, and it's a terrible, terrible looking front cover of the cart. And it took me 20 tries cleaning out the dust in the bottom of the cartridge because it had been in the warehouse for so long. So, yeah, that's one of the issues that you deal with buying from Amazon and cartridge-based games in the first place. That's why I don't buy a lot of cartridge-based. I go physically hunting for games when I need a specific game. Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City. Your basketball is your best friend. You destroy mutants. Mutant aliens from a future long away. Which it's not that far away now. I don't know. Midway presents Arcade's Greatest Hits. MLB PA Baseball from the 90s. Of course, you don't play baseball games like they used to. Oh, well. Mortal Kombat, Miss Pac-Man. My mom loves Pac-Man, so we've got the 1-Up arcade cabinet that's not even built yet. And we've got the original Pac-Man arcade cabinet from the 90s. And we've got 4 different types of slot machines where you spin the wheel to win. Although they only accept tokens for whatever reason. It's like, why? NBA Jam, NHL 94, Obitus, a wonderful little juggling collar, severely underrated. As I said, I don't go very much into the sport genre, but when you pay $125 and half of them are sports games, and you tell the guy that you're gonna hold on to his collection, even if I don't play it, that's not my problem. But I do have his 21 games that he gave me, Super Metroid being one that he gave me for free. But like I said, I take good care of whatever gifts I get. And I paid $75 for the $75 for the console and no, I paid $90 for the console, and out of $125, I paid $35 for 21 games, with Super Metroid being free for my birthday. So that's a good deal. An $80 game for free is definitely a good deal. Operation Europe Path to Victory, another one that I got in that lot with my original Super Nintendo. Haven't played it. It's World War II based. Let me know if it's a good game in the comments down below. Out of This World, Pack Attack. And I do have Out of This World virtually on the PlayStation 4. It came out on the PS4 as a free game on PlayStation Plus 3 months ago, I think. I'm not sure. Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. I mean, this is an okay game. It's like you have cartoony Pac-Man. He's running errands for his wife. It seems to be more like a learning title, but it's not claimed to be a learning title. It's just a weird game, in my opinion. Pieces. The only Atlas game that's $10 or less on the Super Nintendo. The reason being, all you're doing is puzzles, and then spot the difference puzzles in between every 4 puzzles. So yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's got 20 different themes that you can go through in a mystery theme, which randomizes everything. Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure. It's okay. It's a good platformer. The only problem I have with it is you die once you get hit. So, and the enemies, the way the screen's laid out, you can't really see the enemies until they're actually right at you. And it's not one hit and you're dead, but the enemies won't stop pounding you. And you've got like 3 hits before you're totally dead. 1 hit from each enemy gives you one of those hits away. Kind of like Less Than Unlikely. You don't get any additional things. You get 9 lives, but that's it. Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Why not? Everybody loves Porky Pig. That's all. No, I'm just joking. Scooby-Doo Mystery. It's an okay game for a Hanna-Barbera game. Secret of Mana 2, the Time Walk Games Edition translation pack. It's actually the best translation that there is for the game. Paid $300 for a complete in-box sealed version. And to me, it's worth the money because I can't even get the Secret of Mana 1 US release English version for under $150. So paying $300 for a game that was never officially released in the US, but was remastered later on, it's a good deal for $300. Oh dear. Shadowrun. And it even has the video rental store that it was bought at before they went out of business. Movies and videos Superstore. Oh man, that's bad. Paid $35 for this, based in apocalyptic Seattle. It's a pretty good game. What sucks is what I would have changed in regards to Shadowrun if it was made today. I would have changed that even though you start with nothing, you can't be killed when you have nothing in your hands by enemies. If you do have a weapon in your hands, you have plenty of chances to find reload packs for those. I would have made it similar to the walking RPGs, such that you kind of like Grand Theft Auto. The only difference is you're not going to have all those wonky physics engine problems that Grand Theft Auto is known for. Star Fox with the Super FX chip, you'll see it. All Super FX games have the Super FX on the front title, on the front of the cartridge, to let you know that that is a Super FX chip game. Sunset Riders. Super Black Bass Fishing. The only add-on I have for the Super Nintendo, which is the Super Game Boy, play a lot of Pokemon on this, by the way. And the Star Wars games have a fun mechanic where you, for a Game Boy, where you are actually playing in the cockpit of an X-Wing. Yeah, you're playing in Jabba's palace, but you're in the cockpit of your X-Wing. Yeah. Weird dynamics, but I know, but hey, I'll take weirdness. Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario Kart, in Super Mario World. I've got a complete complete base Super Mario collection. There's still the Super Mario Learning titles, which suck for the Super Nintendo, but we'll get into that later. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going to just bring that in. Super Metroid, the free $80 game that I got from my friend when working at Amazon. Super Scope 6. Typically, it will have a target for a light gun game. But since this came packed in with the Super Scope, but I don't have the Super Scope because I only got the cartridge for $2. The Super Scope's like $50 by itself. I'm not going to pay $50 for something that I won't use on a regular basis and that most of them don't work anymore. Surprisingly enough. Super Solitaire Extreme. Or in Japan, Super Trump. I find it kind of ironic. The gambling game, where you're gambling with the President of the United States at this time. For those of you that don't know your history, we're in the third year of the Trump presidency, if you've been living under a rock. Super Star Wars Game of the Year Edition. Player's Choice Edition. There's actually 2 editions of this and 2 editions of Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. There's the player choice, and then there's the original version. Player's choice goes for less than the original. Surprise, surprise. I would have thought it would have gone for more, but it doesn't. Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super Nintendo. Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I like playing as Leia in her bikini in the Rancor pit. It's actually kind of hilarious defeating the Rancor in a lady bikini. Tetris 2. Not bad. Not bad games at all. Top Gear. The best racing game on the Super Nintendo because the soundtrack makes you feel like you got to race everywhere. Williams Arcade's Greatest Hits. It has Joust, Defender, Defender 2, Arachnoid, and something else. I don't know. I can't read it off the cartridge itself. I don't have my Super Nintendo. I don't have it hooked up into my Super Nintendo right now, so I can't read all of the titles. But it comes with 5 games on it. It's a good compilation cart of arcade classics. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. And that is all for the Super Nintendo games. I will see y'all on the next video. And, oh my gosh, I got a call. Bye. Bye.